G'day viewers, it's Jeff McPhee's Gardening, Melbourne, Australia. Have you ever made a mistake in running your business? And more importantly, did you learn from that mistake? Well, I've been in this game, the lawn and garden industry, for 4 decades, and I've made many mistakes, but I've learnt from most of them, and I've learnt from other people. Stay tuned for this video, and I'll tell you about the mistakes I've made, and it might just help you in your journey. You might just get some tips that will improve your business. Let's do it. When we first started our business, we're quite excited. All we want to do is get out on the tools and start working, because that's what I did. I left a job, a high pressure job, so I wanted to be home and I wanted to make my own mark on the world. And what happened is I started out in a rush. I went out and I worked on the tools, and I was accumulating work left, right and centre. You see, I was a single income family. My wife was staying home looking after the children. They were only small, and I had a mortgage. So I had to pay for the mortgage, put food on the table, and get as much work as I can. And of course, I made some very vital mistakes that stuck with me for some time, and it took me a while to get it through my thick head that I'm not going down the right track. Because what happened is I didn't understand a couple of things. One was looking after the client, valuing the client, building a relationship with the client, and the pricing. I got it all wrong from the start. I see it happening now, because when we leave our jobs, we think the price should be a little bit more than what our hourly rate is. But if we don't understand the cost of running our business, we're never going to understand how to price the jobs properly. Back in our day, it was all print media. There was no social media. There was no internet. This is in the mid-80s. So what happened then, we had to work it out ourselves. Now you've got that opportunity, if you're starting out, to get onto forums, to talk to Facebook groups, to network with other contractors and find out about pricing. Once you understand what the market's prepared to pay, then you can match up. Can I survive on that? Can I cover my costs? Can I make a wage? And more importantly, can I make a profit? Biggest mistakes I made, and I see it still made to this day, is we go out and we try to get as much work, and sometimes we lose why we're in business. We don't form that relationship with the customer, who, by the way, the long-term good customer, and I've still got one from 40 years ago when I started, they're the ones that can provide you the reliable, the consistent revenue for your business, and also being great people and good payers. Now, if you don't identify those and you don't look after them, you're going to find yourself in a little bit of strife, which I did at the start. Because what I did, because I was looking for so much work, I was saying to them, look, I'll get back to you on that one. They wanted some planting, for example. Oh, look, I'll do that in a few weeks' time. And a month goes by and you still haven't done it. Now, customers, they want their job done for themselves. They don't care how much work you got. They don't care what's going on in your life. You've got to do their work. So if you promise that I'll do it in a short spate of time, a week or 2 weeks max. If you're going to let it go out, you're going to start being unreliable, and you'll be known to be unreliable. And that is one of the biggest experiences that I learned, one of the big lessons I've learned, to make sure that I value my client, value the good client, the one that you targeted, the one that's going to make you a successful business. I also made a mistake of not targeting the right clients. When we started out, we were in a sort of just an average area, and I got lots of customers all close to me within streets, and I thought that was fantastic. But I didn't realise until we moved. We went to a more, not so much a rich area, but a more affluent area, and the customers obviously had a bit more disposable income from where we come from. And when I started getting those clients, I realised that I was way behind the mark. I was targeting the wrong customers. Back in those days, I was only getting $20 for a lawn, example. This is back in, a long time ago. When I went to the new area, I was getting $30, $40. I was getting double, 50% to 100% more, because it was a more affluent, they would pay for a good quality service. So I learnt that if I provide quality and I target the right customers, I'm going to be so much better off. And that's what I did. I then even looked at going further afield, and I went down to a particular area where it was way out of our area. And I thought, if I get this particular type of client, very well-heeled, good payers, providing a lot of upselling of work because they've got lots of other things other than mowing. I thought if I could build from there, I'll do all right. And that's what happened. And it works through word of mouth. You take your customer list. You've been in the game for a while. You might have 50 customers, 100 customers, whatever you got. It's surprising when you take one customer, where did they derive from? So you might have got them out of the paper, or there might have been a walk up or whatever. From that customer, the neighbour might have seen you do the work, so they've engaged you. That neighbour might have, their parents might have seen you work on, that place, and so they engage you. Then their friends engage you. I used to write down a little family tree type thing, and it was amazing how many clients derive from one client. And that gets back to word of mouth, providing quality, providing the right targeted area. Word of mouth beats any form of advertising, because back in our day we just had printed media. It is a lot easier to advertise now, but also the competition is a lot more now because of the ability to put something on Facebook or Google ads, or put something on the internet. You can change it overnight. Anyone can put it on. Don't even have to have a registered business. You still, lots of people, cowboys put ads in the Facebook groups, and they can charge very cheap prices. The competition's fierce. So word of mouth, I believe, is probably the best form and the cheapest form of advertising, because you're going to get that type of client, the client that you've been targeting. To go along longevity in your business, you need two critical things. One is your health, and two is your partner, is your family. I could not have done this long career without support of my partner. Now, had you have had a partner that was a little bit reluctant, or the family was a bit reluctant in you doing it, you might do it in spite of being able to prove a point. But at the end of the day, if you haven't got all together, not all supporting each other, it's going to be difficult to survive. And that is the critical thing, I think, when you're starting and even maintaining your business. The other one is health. I've watched my health all those times. 70, I can still do a good day's work. Not as good as I was when I was in my 30s, but I can still do it because I've paced myself. I've made sure that I won't do a job that's going to tire me out the next day. When I started, because I was getting jobs everywhere, I'd be hedging all day and garden rejuvenation. Next day, I'd get up and do the same thing. By the third day, I was stuffed, but I kept pushing myself. Then I started getting the pains. The knees were getting sore, the back was getting sore. And I thought very quickly, I've got to start planning my work, making sure that I plan the number of hours I work, and also the type of work that I do throughout the week, making sure that I do light jobs after heavy jobs. Think about the planning. I think it's a big mistake a lot of girls make, that get out there and just go, go, go. It needs some thought. Learned off others early, and I see it today, change. Be prepared to change, and change quickly. I had to change several times. We had a 10-year drought. We had a recession. I had to change from lawn mowing into garden maintenance, into garden rejuvenation. I had to change tact. I had to research and find out people wanted different things during a drought. Drought-tolerant gardens, reticulation systems, all these other things. You had to change quickly to survive and to avoid the mistake of not having any work. You need to be able to diversify. I've got my business now busier in the winter than in the summer. Because I'm older, I'm protecting the body. I don't want to be mowing lawns in 40-degree heat. But I can do lots of things in the winter time. So our peak times are actually winter. Garden rejuvenations, rose pruning, mulching of garden beds in winter time. There's heaps of work there for existing customers. So don't make the mistake of just being blinkered and doing one thing. I see so many guys only mow lawns, and that's fine. But if you can't, you want to sustain that business for 365 days a year, you're going to have to change. This is in Australia. I know in the Northern Hemisphere, you guys can't work in the winter, although I suppose there's snow ploughing and all the other bits and pieces you can do. But there's always something else that you can do, and you need to think about that. Game changer obviously is battery versus petrol. Yes, I know people say, petrol's the best. I never listen to anybody that hasn't tried it. I get a lot of people saying battery's no good. Do you use it? No, they haven't. Well, you can't make a comment unless you've used a battery. Same with recommending equipment. If you want to ask somebody about what they think the best is, make sure they actually use it. Like, there's so many different models and so many different brands and so many ways to use equipment. It's important that you talk to people that actually have used it, have actually experienced it over a period of time, and that's like battery. And then you can make your mind up which way you want to go. The other important thing is buy for what you want to need only. I started off and made another big mistake. I bought too much equipment. Oh, I'll need this, I'll need that. I didn't. So build your equipment as you grow your business. Or I'm going to get the right on because I'm going to target at commercial properties or acreage or properties that require a right-on mower. But don't go buying something without having a strategy in place so that you can actually use that machine. You know, I bought rotary hose. I think I used it twice. You know, all these other aspects. There's a lot of equipment you can hire. If you're doing lawn renovations, you might only be doing half a dozen. You might only do them in a certain period of the year. Maybe you just hire them and you just add that cost onto the job. Maybe. If you're doing a lot of renos, of course you will buy the equipment. But you need to think very carefully about the type of equipment, which should be commercial. You know, they say it's a low-cost business to go into. It is and it isn't, because if you really want to do it properly, you need to buy commercial equipment, and commercial equipment does cost a lot more. So sometimes you might need a few more pennies than a lot of people think. A lot of people think I can just have a work out the back of a car, and you can do that, of course you can. But if you're going to be serious about running the business, buy the best, you know, brand yourself, brand your uniform. We've gone over all these things over many videos, and we all know that. Don't make the mistake of being a cowboy from day one. In business, when you're starting out, make a lot of mistakes, but learn from them. Ask a lot of questions, network with a lot of people. Learn from other people's mistakes as well as your own. And it's amazing how much you learn. I've learned a tremendous lot, and I've probably learned more in the last few years with the internet, with the Facebook groups, the online forums, than I have in all my career. It's amazing when you talk to a vast majority of people in our game of what you can actually learn. So, you know, target the right customers, get your pricing right, you know, enjoy your job, enjoy the longevity. When you go into it, think about the long term. It's not a short-term game. Sometimes it does take years to get yourself established. I know people 5 to 10 years sometimes, you know. Some people can get straight away off and running. And we did that too, but then we hit the recession, the 10-year drought, and it slowed us up. And that's where you had to change. You had to change on your feet, like I explained before. Viewers, I hope you've learnt something out of this, a couple of tips to put on board that when you're running a business, but just keep thinking about what else can I do better, you know. When you're doing something, you know, quality work is so important. How can I do it better? And I think if you get that mindset, it's going to really help you be successful in the longevity of your business. I'd like to know some of your stories from when you first started. Let's hear some comments. Look, please share and like. I really want to move this channel on a little bit more if we can. I've been really wrapped in the you know, the number of subscribers I'm getting on board, and the feedback and the feedback behind the scenes has been absolutely astronomical. Look, please don't hesitate to email or contact us. I don't mind. So I've got lots of people that you know, we talk about, and it's really interesting. But you know, share this channel around a bit more if you can. I'd really appreciate it. See you in the next one, girls and guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.